Monday morning, 7.10's warming up. That's going to take the digger out. Dad's putting the silage tread on the fast track. That's going to take wood chip later. Andrew is dropping the drill off to put the fertiliser spreader back on. He's got some more polyhalite to spread now the wind's dropped. And I hopefully will get some spraying done if my spray arrives. That is going to need a wash. Drill's uncoupled. That's now coupled up. And then T and J are just getting weighed out. They've just come for a load of OSR. Very shiny. Is that the best side? And he's off over the crazy paving. I was pleased with this concrete yesterday. It's cracked on this corner where we couldn't quite get it, the roller in, which is a bit annoying. But when we come to do this bit here, we can patch that in. Got a hot spot here in the grain pile. We've not got any fans in this corner, so we're just scooping it out now and putting it through the dryer to cool it. Right, Rob's putting this Merlot in crab steer because he's kind of like got stuck in the shed. He's got it out now actually, 4-wheel steer. We're trying to reach round behind that pedestal. Today's biscuits are sponsored by Ian Hudson in Calgary because we've got chocolate hobnobs. Okay. Seemed a little rash, but it's clearing up now. The 936 before he goes across to Granny's. We're off now to sort another gateway out while it's dry weather. New shiny bucket on the digger. All going on now, isn't it, James? Look. Got a convoy, haven't we there? All right, Joe. So Rob needs to take that now, and then everyone's left. Straw shortener's just arrived, so we can go and get that done in a bit. Back out on the sprayer now. This was grass for a few years, and it's a bit wet down this side, as you can see by the wheel marks from last time I come through with the sprayer. But this tufts of grass, we've got a product in called Atlantis. Hopefully that will knock most of that out and should clear it up a bit. You see how wet it was last time I came through though. Yeah, won't be fun bailing it if we bail it. I came and sprayed this field before when I went from one field to the other. I was supposed to add a little bit more chemical. Forgot, got back to the yard, and the chemical was in the locker. I was like, oh! So I've had to put some more water on and come back and now put it on. Because I'm just spot spraying in the middle of this field that was bad. An hour and a bit wasted. Back in the yard, but that sky there does not look very pretty. So I don't think it's worth filling the sprayer up and going out for another tank. Anyway, I'm going to go and get a piece of chalk and I'm going to go into the shed and I'm going to draw a river, because you would not believe the amount of people in the stick on Twitter about that video. It seems to be that the river, I don't know what would you call them, river warriors seem to be worse than the vegans for getting angry about stuff, thinking that river is completely natural. They seem to ignore the fact that there's a bridge built and it's 600 years ago with a pier right in the middle of the water flow, hence why now it needs a bit of maintenance. Anyway, let's get a bit of chalk and put it on this video and see if they want to watch it and learn a little bit. Right, it's got a bit of a curve to it. Let's say that's the river, so it's like that sort of shape. Now, can't do that, can I? 600 years ago they built a bridge over the top of it with 3 arches. So you've got 1, 2, 3, yeah? That means then that you've got piers in the middle. So when the water's coming along, in fact, let's just remove the arches and just put the piers in. So you've got 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and then another one there. So you got 1, 2, 3 arches, yeah? 4 piers. 2 of them in the water. So what do you do then? You've restricted the flow. So what you have to then do is make the river wider, right? So you move that, and the river then goes like that, and then the river then goes here, like that, so that it's still got the same flow. But when it's a low sort of flow times, so it's not raining too much, because the water comes along in the narrow channel relatively fast, and then the channel then widens out slightly because it has to be forced around the pillars, you'll get water moving through here at a greater rate. That's never slowed down, whereas this has had to go further, and it starts to slow down and deposit gravel into the outside of the bend or in the other bits. Then it silts up. So what Mr. Price did was, he got a bulldozer in here and he scraped all that out and then realign that better there, so that the river would flow better when it floods. There wasn't all this silt built up on the bend, and that's what he's been prosecuted for, and cutting the trees down. Now them trees, if the bridge is 600 years old, I'd be surprised if any of them trees are more than 100 years old. Yes, he's cut them down. Apparently it's environmental vandalism, but give it 10 or 20 years and they'll have grown back. Now that river must be thousands of years old. Like I say, the bridge is 600 years old. I think it's 1400 it was built. So the temporary removal of some trees on the bank in order to reform it so that it flows better at high flood times, it's kind of worth it. The environmental damage, don't believe. There's pictures of all the Somerset flooding, the flooding in Lincolnshire, other floods where everything for miles is dead because it can't swim. Hares, rabbits, birds, unless they can swim, you know, that it just completely drowns everything, just like it would if people tried to live near it and the water's above their head. So to do, you know, a kilometre of ditch maintenance is only short-term damage compared to a big flood covering a huge area and killing more stuff. That's my opinion anyway. Loads of people on Twitter all think that the hydrolysis or ditch engineers or water whatever, when they've probably never cleaned the ditch out in their entire life. And I just want to know what they would do to the gutters on their house if they filled up with silt. Would they just leave them and let the water sort itself out, or would they clean them out so they don't get damp in the house? Anyway, that's a little bit of a rant for today. The anvil on the chipper's really badly worn. That should be square. Anyway, the bolts had worn away, we couldn't get them out, so we have to hack them out with various different whizzers. And then we've got to lift this counter blade out now. Change these studs. So there we go. Glory. Do you mean I did the last two? Last one. Now we've got to get them studs out of here. They're sat in little blocks, and you can change the blocks, but not without getting that out of the way. There's 4 of them. So this started off life looking like that, but obviously it's worn all that off it. Should have been turned after, like, I don't know, 10 sets of blades, and then you can wear that edge and then wear that edge, and then once it's too worn, swap it, otherwise it wears down through the holes here that the nuts are in, countersunk bolts, and then you can't undo them, which is the trouble we've just had now. I've got to hack into it with the grinder and get them out. This is today's birthday bumper, so we got Johnny Wilson is on there, John Lyons is on there, Jason is, and Sinita or Sinta, his 17th anniversary. John Lewis, aka Pappy, is 70. Rob Saunders is 40. John Fell's on there. Cody Adams is 9, and Gordon Deans. Happy birthday, everyone on there, and anyone else whose birthday is today. Terrible reflection off the roof. I hope you can read your name. And if you're not on there and it is your birthday, happy birthday also. Giving up with the wood chipper for today now. We've cut it off, welded some nuts on, letting them cool down, sprayed them with that Deblock stuff, which is rust, anti-rust stuff. Hopefully they'll undo in the morning, but we have run out of gas on the welder, so it wasn't the best of welds. So we've got frustrated and leaving it because it started raining. It's just spitting. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow.